Hi there. Okay, so just a quick little kind of love note from my heart. Let's get real quick. A little vulnerability, little realness. So I'm curious if you can relate to this. This is my experience from my early life. I spent so many years, like years, decades resenting my deep feeling sensitive nature, like resenting the hell out of it. And I let so much precious life pass me by in doing that. I mean, just resenting it, making it my life's mission to like hide while also simultaneously looking for ways to like fix and heal myself, which I now know is ridiculous because I was on a quest to fix and heal, which was what was just me and my true nature, right? I used to feel so small, so insecure, so full of anxiety. I wanted to just kind of like get through life, rather than really living it, just kind of like, I'm just trying to make it, I'm just trying to get through it. I lived with a constant, just like overwhelming, nagging belief that there was just something just plain wrong with me. Like, there's just something wrong with me. And I used to watch other people like do the things or have the things or be the things that I like secretly wanted. But I just felt too insecure or unworthy to do myself because it's like, well, that's cool for you, right? That's not for me. That's for you. I could never do that, or I could never have that. I could never be that. And I must have just had like a really high pain tolerance because I was like suffering on the inside and turning to things like alcohol and food to numb and soothe and comfort me. And as I reflect, I don't think that it was so much of having a really high pain tolerance as much as it was I just didn't actually believe that life could be better for me. So it was like this is just how it is. Like other people can be healthy and happy. Those are the normal people. I'm the weird one. There's something wrong with me. I'm too much. I'm too sensitive. I am unreasonable. And so I'm just gonna be quiet so I can stay safe and not ruffle feathers. And I never actually believed that like those things, the health, the happiness, the like functional, joyful way of going through life were actually options for me. So yeah, just year after year, I continually did things that were disrespectful and really against my true nature and my needs. And I racked up the effects in my body and in my mind and in my spirit. My body was not happy um, at all. My mind was not happy. I was completely disconnected from my sense of spirit. And essentially I was buried under just a mountain of shame. And then, long story short, about a decade ago, life threw me a really marvelous curveball and one of those just true fall down on your freaking knees like what do I do? Rug was just pulled out from under me. Holy crap. And it was in that time that I made a choice to do something differently because it was like the ways that I've been using to cope with life and with things up to this point weren't really cutting it to get through that traumatic episode. And it was like, okay, well, I can either keep on this path and probably, you know, go to a very early grave, or I can do something differently. And so I chose to do something differently. And at first I felt so wobbly, like a little tiny toddler when they first start walking. Um, just super wobbly, uncomfortable, completely unsure of like what I was doing or how to do it. Um, But eventually I recreated my foundation for life. I created the foundation and the framework and the ways of living that really bring me a sense of joy and a sense of peace and confidence and really honor and amplify who I truly am at the core, especially as a deep feeling sensitive woman. A foundation that lets me use that as a gift and as a strength, as a just asset. And it's the foundation, that sure, I wish I would have been shown earlier in life. But the truth is, you know, my mother didn't know these things. Her mother didn't know these things. I imagine that yours didn't and hers didn't, and back and back. And this isn't anything negative against them as much as it is just for so many generations, we've been so disconnected. And we don't have that system. We don't have that solid foundation, one that honors body, emotions, energy, mind, and nature. And those are the five elements of my practice, of my foundation, of what I teach in the InnerSpark Method, which is a distillation of this whole journey that I've been on that I get to now offer to other people. And sometimes I'll have that sense of like what I imagine must be a bit like they call it survivor's guilt. Like, how did I manage to unravel the grips of shame, the legacy of feminine shame that lives within all of us? How did I manage to unravel the grips of addiction and my own battles with alcoholism and disordered eating and disconnection and this like spiritual malnourishment that we experience in our culture? And how did I manage to unravel the grips of being on this endless quest to fix myself? Like, why am I so special? Especially when I see like how my mother didn't get to be so lucky and her addiction took her really early in life. That's not a unique story. I hear it often, too often. Or women that kind of just go on about these long lives that they get to have, but they're like half-lived. They're lived in that state of frenetic disconnection, anxiety, inner chaos, with the people pleasing and the just constant exhaustion, which is no way to live. So sometimes I'll be like, well, like what like why me? And then I'm like, oh, right. Because now my work is to take you with me. My work is to hold space and provide a framework, provide tools, education, reflection, so that you can come into who you are, the full truth of who you are, and live from your inner spark, your own unique inner spark. Living in a way that is nourishing as defined by you and you alone. Like that's what it's all about. My mission is to support others in having a much smoother, much more supported, better organized, and accelerated way to the thriving of their definition than I did. And the way to do that, the secret sauce, is going to the root. So no more band-aids or skimming the surface, it's getting to the root, which in most deep feeling sensitive women is shame, specifically a phenomenon that I've coined feminine shame. That's the root of all of this turmoil and this struggle. And so my purpose is to share the revolutionary whole person system that I developed after decades of living in suffering as a burnt out, deep feeling sensitive woman. And so I really invite you to just hear me. Please hear me. Okay? You don't have to put up with constant burnout. You don't have to resolve to a life that is half-lived at best. You don't have to sacrifice your needs or your boundaries or your true nature. You don't have to put up with feeling anything less than connected and amazing in your body, mind, and spirit. Everything that you have ever secretly hoped for, that maybe you have watched others experience or have, or just have like dreamt of for yourself, all of that is yours. Like it can be yours. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that's like there's no truth to that thought that says, you know, oh, that's not for me. That's for others. No, it is for you. If it's something you desire, it's for you. It's for you. Absolutely. And so if I can honestly and without hesitation today say that I love myself, like I love myself, I love my sensitivity, I love my deep feeling ways. And if I can smile at myself in the mirror, something that like I would have been like, you're crazy, I would never do that. If I can say I love myself, I love my sensitivity, smile at myself in the mirror, love being the weird one in the group who doesn't do things in a normal way, who doesn't do things to like please others, and who does do things to support their true nature, then so can you. And I've got you. So you're not alone. Life can be so sweet, and you deserve that sweetness and more in however you desire that to look. Okay? So I just wanted to share that with you. That was on my heart. And if you feel called to explore more, to connect with me and just discuss what's up for you, I'm so happy to hear that, to hold space for you, to maybe perhaps point you in the direction of some resources, some good next steps, may involve the InnerSpark method. Reach out to me. Let's talk. Okay? We're in this together.